These are my words. This is the seventh installment of our reading. Wednesday, December 7th. I noticed one of the girls on a park bench on the way home from school. I went to her because I could tell she was crying. Her name was Wendy. She is from a reserve next to the one where my mom lives. I asked her what was wrong, and she told me that she got a letter yesterday saying that her mother got married. I asked her how that was bad, and she said her father just died last year. She has two small brothers and a baby sister. When I asked if she knew the man her mother married, she nodded her head. She said that his wife died 2 years ago and that he has four children. They are all under 10. That's a lot of children, I'm thinking. But he has no wife to look after his children, and she has no husband to look after her and her children. I told Wendy that her mother would need someone to after and take care of her and her children. I asked her if the man was a bad man, and she shook her head. So I asked her why she was crying. She got mad and said, "You don't understand anything," and just ran off. I guess I don't. Saturday, December 10th. The Cree girls must have found our paper dolls. Everything is gone. Sarah started crying, but Mary said that it was probably not the Cree girls. She said that maybe Miss Lewis told the others about the paper dolls, and maybe they told her to get rid of the dolls and the catalog because we would be playing about home and having our dolls talk in our language. I think so too. I told them that we would talk about home instead. Sarah said that she was glad to have left home. She said her mother was never home and they were hungry most of the time. She has a little sister and a brother there. It was sad to hear her story. Mary came from a big family, but her brothers and sisters had already left home. She says she really loves spending all her time at home with her parents, and they always go somewhere camping when she gets home. I remember her telling us that her two sisters were at this school too. She said that they are married now and had to move to their husbands' reserves, and her brothers are working at an airport of some kind. I told them about Grandma and Mother and spent all afternoon there until the bell rang for supper. We had to scramble fast down the stairs in order to line up in time before the supervisor came. Then we all marched down the stairs and lined up before the dining room again to say the prayer there before we go inside. After the meal, there's always that prayer to say, and then we get up and clean the dining room. It is getting so that I don't even think about what I'm saying at prayers anymore. We just all speak and say the same thing together. Monday, December 12th. My letters are gone again. I thought I was going to explode. I was so mad. I've calmed down a bit now. Everyone is just going about their business and no one's paying any attention to me. I never see anyone upset either. I see the other girls get mail and they put the letters in their lockers, but I never hear anyone say that they are gone. I feel ready to burst into tears, but I will not cry. It's after school and I don't have homework. I'm just going to write this until supper bell rings. I've been thinking about Wendy. I think I finally figured out why she was so upset. She thinks that her father has been replaced and her mother is now with another man. That got me thinking about Grandma. I remember asking her about my grandfather. We were sitting along the shoreline, cooling off after picking blueberries along the railway tracks. I'm thinking it is important for me to write this down so that I can read it when I am feeling really lost and stripped down. Grandma seems too much a part of me to lose. I want to feel her alive with me every day. She said that her family lived up north at her father's trap line. One winter they came into the village to pick up some groceries and supplies. They were at the store when a young man walked in. He was the son of another trapper, and when he saw her, his face lit up. He walked toward Grandma's father and said hello, but he was so close that he stepped on one of Grandma's moccasins and she lost her balance when she tried to step back and landed flat on her bottom. They were married that summer when she was 19 years old, and then a year later Mother was born. Mother was 5 years old when the government plane landed at the trap line and took her away, under threat that my grandparents would be thrown in prison and would never see their child again if they didn't let her go. Grandma was 34 years old when Grandpa fell through the ice and drowned. She never remarried. She looked after her parents until they were gone. All those years, while Mother was at the residential school, Grandma lived in the cabin by herself and hunted and fished to keep herself alive. And then I came along. For a long time there was just the three of us. I don't remember much of that though. Then Mother married Izzy. That was when we had to move away from Grandma, and Izzy took us north to his reserve. I remember that I wasn't very happy. Now here I am. I won't forget who I am. Tuesday, December 13. I don't know where the information came from, or if it's just gossip, but someone said the princess had made it home. I don't know. I hope she did. I often wondered how she made it out of the building without anyone seeing her. She must have had some money to be able to get away like that. I would know the first thing to do to get out of here. I'd have to make it to the train station and buy a ticket, and then to where? I can't even remember the place where we had spent the night. I bet the train ticket would be on the phone to the ticket agent would be on the phone to the residential school the minute I showed up. I've also noticed that Princess's three Cree girls aren't even speaking to each other now. Maybe they feel mad at being left here. Who knows? Thursday, December 15th. Countdown to going home. 6 more days. We had pork chops, each with mashed potatoes and peas for supper. There's a high, excited feeling in the dorm. I don't know how to describe it. It's like everyone is waiting for something to happen. Some of the girls began running around and chasing each other up and down the stairs when I heard the man's voice bellow from down below. That must be the boys' supervisor. Their lounge room is across the double doors to the stairway. It's very quiet in the dorm right now. I don't feel like writing anymore. I keep thinking about Grandma. I can't wait to see her. Friday, December 16. 5 more days until I see Grandma. Everyone in my class at King George is talking about Christmas. They are mostly talking about the presents they are hoping to get and what they have asked their parents for. Also, the decorations that they are putting up inside and outside their homes. There are also shiny decorations hanging along the hallway and at the school office window. Everyone seems happier than normal. I just don't understand what the excitement is about. I also don't really understand who this Santa Claus is and why he is so important. I know that there are usually boxes of toys that are sent to the reserve. They are given out to the kids at the school at Christmas, but there is really no mention of Santa Claus that I can remember. Maybe he's really something like a Halloween pumpkin. Saturday, December 17. 4 more days until I see Grandma. These are all kinds of there are all kinds of Christmas shows on television too. Wendy, Mary, and I went downstairs this afternoon, and there are Christmas decorations on the store windows, and everything is glittery and shiny. It was very pretty. We just walked up and down the street looking at the window displays. Then we had to run back in a hurry because we forgot to look at the time. We just got in the door and kicked off our shoes and hung up our jackets and were barely in time to line up for supper outside the dining room. Sunday, December 18. 3 more days till I see Grandma. We will be walking along the path back to her cabin. We will pass by Blackie's cabin too. I wonder if he will come out to greet us. It will be nice to see him too. If the snow is very deep, Grandma makes a path to the train tracks from her cabin because the train tracks are always clear of snow. We'll probably sit with the lamp on and talk for a while before bed. Me from my single bed beside the window, and her from her bed at the other corner of the room. She'll have the stove going nice and warm too. Can't wait to get home. Tuesday, December 20th. There was an announcement over the intercom. Our trips home have been cancelled. One of the girls has developed German measles and we are quarantined. I don't even know who the girl is. She's in the infirmary under quarantine. I really wasn't sure what quarantine meant, so I asked one of the girls. I can't stop crying. Everyone is eyed. The girls are saying that if we go home, we might carry the sickness home, or some pregnant woman will lose her baby. I don't know any pregnant women back home. I want to go home. Wednesday, December 21. We're supposed to be going home today. I cried a long time last night. I feel so cheated. I wasn't the only one either. All night in the pitch blackness, I kept hearing sniffles and silent screams. Someone actually screamed into her pillow. It was so awful. Thursday, December 22nd. There was one girl who seemed very happy. She was laughing and chatting when she had always been quiet. She was even getting very angry as it came close to going home, too. She was laughing at me when she noticed that I had been crying when I came out of the toilet stall. What are you laughing at? Why aren't you sad? I asked her as I bent to wash my face. There were just the two of us in the bathroom. She said, I'm not going home, that's why. I get to avoid Christmas at home this year. People kill each other at Christmas where I come from. We're always so scared. I had to hide under my bed with my two little sisters for almost a whole day last year. It's just so. Then she turned and said, Never mind, and went out the door. I've heard that in some places there is a lot of alcohol and violence during the holidays. That must be what she means. Friday, December 23. There's a concert for us tonight. The local high school boys have a band, and they are going to come and play for us. We had to line up as usual before we entered the large room that I had never seen before. It was right across from the principal's office, I think. Later. Well, we just got back and no time to watch television. The kitchen girls just brought us our evening snack of a slice of cake each and hot chocolate, and we just sat around on the floor and talked about the concert. We don't usually have cake, so this is a nice treat. Chocolate cake with thick icing on top. The concert was in a large room that they called an auditorium, with a stage of some sort at front. The guys were up on a floor about 4 feet higher than us. They had guitars and drums, and one guy sang at the front. The four guys sang some songs, and I did recognize some Beatles songs from the time that I was home on the reserve when the radio was on, and then here on television. Some other songs I had not heard before. Oh well, I think I would have preferred to watch television. Saturday, December 24th. Nothing happened today. I didn't feel like going anywhere, so I thought I'd write to Grandma. There isn't even anything to write about. I gave up on that idea. I don't even feel like writing my Blackie story either. I keep wanting to end the story, but then I think of something else Blackie could get into. I'm just going to leave it for now. My sketch of Grandma's cabin is finished. I just added myself walking beside Grandma. I'm carrying a bag of potatoes. Sunday, December 25th. We had to pin the little doily things to our heads again this morning, and we trudged through the bush in deep snow to get to the church for the Christmas service. Same thing. The man up front was talking and talking, and I watched the people bobbing up and down the whole time. Maybe it kept their legs from falling asleep. I want to go home. Monday, December 26th. Today is Boxing Day. Don't know what that means either. The only boxing I have ever heard of are the guys that punch each other until one of them falls down and can't get up again. A girl was crying in the bathroom this morning. Someone put a wad of gum in her hair while she was sleeping, and Miss Lewis had to cut it out. Now she has a bald spot on the side of her head. Felt sorry for her. Whoever did it would not tell. Some of the girls were saying after breakfast that she probably had the gum in her mouth when she went to sleep, and it fell out of her mouth and got into her hair during the night while she was moving around. Oh well. They call her Bald Spot now. Tuesday, December 27th. After supper, they took us to the hockey rink downtown to see a hockey game. We traveled by bus. The boys were in it too, and we were supervised by the boy supervisor and our own Miss Lewis. I didn't know anything about hockey and soon got bored watching guys skating around shooting a flat black round thing back and forth. Saturday, December 31. Today is New Year's Eve. I just remembered Last year at Flint Lake with Grandma, it was right after midnight and I started hearing gunshots being fired into the air. I remember wondering how many bullets rained down on the community that night. After all, what goes up must come down. Sunday, January 1st, 1967. Today is New Year's Day. It would be Hugs and Kisses Day today at Flint Lake. I wonder who would come up the trail to give Grandma a hug and a kiss now that old Moses is gone. I remember Grandma making faces at me over his shoulder when he gave her a hug and a kiss. He made a funny hissing noise, then he laughed. I never had to explain to Grandma that I was very uncomfortable with people hugging me because Mother never did. I don't ever remember one hug from my mother. Grandma hugs me sometimes, though, like when I haven't seen her in a long time. Grandma explained to me once that Mother went to the residential school far away to the west. They took her away when Mother was only 5 years old, and there was nothing Grandma could do about it. It was very bad in the residential school where Mother went. They were not allowed to hug, and she was pushed away if she got hurt and ran to someone for help. They got hit all the time by the supervisors, and their food was not very good, and they were always hungry. They were treated very badly, and it would break Grandma's heart when Mother told her about what had happened. When she got home each year, it must have been a horrible feeling. I'm really, really going to get into trouble if they see this entry. Monday, January 2nd. I'm on bathroom cleaning duty this month, along with another girl. We are wiping down the counter with the three mirrors on the wall above it, wiping the round sink, wiping the windows and the stalls, wiping down the toilet stalls, scrubbing the toilet bowls, and mopping the floor. We take turns. We have to work fast and do a good job. The supervisor comes in to inspect the work until she finds nothing to complain about. Tuesday, January 10. I haven't written anything for a whole week. Don't feel like it. Nothing to say. Going back to school was really sad yesterday. The girls were very quiet in the dorm most of the time since Christmas. Everybody seems to be lying around on their beds every chance they get. No one feels like doing anything. There are no more fights and arguments anymore either. After supper, Bald Spot went into a fit. I think her name is Dorothy. She never really talked much to anyone before. She started screaming in the toilet stall and wouldn't come out. Miss Tanner and the boys' supervisor had to come and open the door and take her out, and we never saw her again. We have no idea what happened to her. Everyone shuts up, and there is nothing you can get out of anyone. I even asked Miss Tanner where the girl was, but she just looked at me and walked away. Wednesday, January 11th. I have nothing worth writing about. I don't even feel like writing to Grandma. I have nothing to say. I just wish I was home. It's a terrible feeling when I want something so much, but I can't have it, and there's nothing I can do about it. Still, no word about Bald Spot.